Welcome. Let's put this in the ether. Sometime, right? You gotta know when to give up on a person. All right. I'm talking about when you're in a relationship with a woman. I'm not talking about marriage, right? In marriage, right? I suggest guys do whatever it takes not to get a divorce. But if you're in a relationship with a girlfriend, if you have a girlfriend and boyfriend, right? And she's not doing you any service. She don't give you any support, right? Because guys out there, you know, I hate to say it, but we're more of a hopeless romantic than the women are, right? And some guys I seen over there are getting abused by the girlfriend, taken advantage of. It's usually the simps, right? Usually the simps are being taken advantage of by the girlfriend, right? Being used and abused, telling this, being manipulated by the girlfriend. If you are in that kind of relationship, right? That your girlfriend is wearing the pants in the relationship, tell you what to do, dominant over you. At some point, you gotta realize that this is not a war fighting for. Just give up on her. You cannot salvage this relationship. It's gonna only lead to your misery in life, right? And not only that, if you don't get out of this relationship on time and you actually commit to this woman by proposing, right? Now you're in deeper waters because now she's gonna have the legal matter on her sides, right? So as for men, if you're in a boyfriend and girlfriend relationship and you're not married, right? I suggest that you would leave, right? Leave that relationship just to save you the headache, save you the mindset, all the stress, because you are living up to expectation, right? Expectation that you're not satisfying yourself. You're really hurting yourself in the long run, right? In this loveless relationship, right? You gotta understand that she's taking advantage of you. She's using you for whatever it is that you have about her. And I understand that guys don't want to do that. They're so in love. They're so blinded. That's why love is so strong in the guy's mindset. Because guys, right? When you don't have your emotion on check, you'll be blinded by this illusion called love, right? So if you're in a relationship with a woman, right, and she's not benefiting you, and she's using you, she mistreated you, it's just better off just to cut it loose and leave that relationship. Don't miss out. Don't miss out on that woman, right? Like, girls come and go. Once you understand how broad the dating market is, they come and go, right? And you can use that time wisely just to promote yourself to be better yourself in life, right? And I've seen a lot of a lot of guys are in this relationship where the women are wearing the pants in a relationship. They're afraid to say anything against their significant others, right? And they're just afraid. I was like, and to me, I'm like, there's nothing to be afraid of. She's just a regular girl. She's not bound by you yet. I mean, you're not committed to her. You didn't ask her to be your fiance. You didn't ask her to marry you. So at that point, when you sign the contract, you're not bounded by her. You can just leave her. Right now, you have the upper advantage over her. Don't be afraid to lose her, especially when she's abusive. There's a lot of abusive relationship, and mainly in this relationship, right? I'm not saying guys are in abusive as well, right? But people, both men and women, could be possessive. I admit that, right? But oftentimes I see men in this abusive relationship. And this could go for the woman as well, right? It saves you the trouble. Just leave that person if it's not doing you any service, right? If you are in a boyfriend and girlfriend situations. But I want to advocate, treat people with respect, treat both sides with respect, right? No side, man or female, don't deserve to be mistreated by anybody, right? So, but don't be abusive. Treat everybody with respect. But oftentimes I see men out there who's willing to put up with disrespect by women, right? Berating them, right? Putting them down, right? Using them, right? And during this time, 2023, men gotta be aware of women could just mislead you, just use you for your resources, use you to pay for lunch, dinners, buy them stuff, right? And you gotta be more wiser, especially when you get older, right? I understand that young men, right, out there right now, it's hard for them to understand because they haven't had the full experience yet or the proper guidance in life of how women can be, how conniving they can be, how manipulative they can be, right? How cunning they can be, right? So if you are in a relationship with women, just cut it loose, cut it cold turkey. Right? You don't need to be. You don't need to put yourself in miseries. Right? You don't need to put yourself in headaches. And oftentimes when you initiate the breakup, right, you'll be the one who's least likely to suffer a depression, suffer from sadness, right? Because if she break up with you, now it's gonna be harder for you to accept the fact that she dumped you, right? You want to be the one who dumped first. I mean, I don't want to say it; it sounds bad, right? It sounds bad to advocate dumping a person, but sometimes you need to dump a person to put yourself in a better position in life, to put yourself in a right mindset. You have to understand. You need to now have to distinguish whether that person are benefiting you or not benefiting you. Are they holding you back, right? So you can better yourself in life, right? And at time when guys get dumped, they get through a whole. They're like a ball of emotions. It's hard for them to get over it. They take time to get over it. Guys are more clinging to women. That's the thing, right? In a relationship, guys are more attached to women compared to a woman. Women are least attached to guys. That's why they're able to branch out to guys, men after men after men after men after relationship. That's why they're able to have multiple partners in their lifespan. Guys usually have like one, two, three multiple partners. That's it in their whole lifetime because guys are more clinging. Guys are more emotional when they're attached to females. Right? This is why guys are more of a hopeless romantic. Right? Women they want to be romanticized, but they can't perform the romantic task. Guys have to do that in order to captivate a woman. All right? But I digress on the romanticism. Romanticism, that's another topic for another story. But the point is that guys need to understand what are your worth. Right? You need to understand not to give your emotion to a girl that easily. Because if you give your emotion to a girl that easily, it's hard for you to cope after the aftermath, after the effect when she dumps you. A girl can move on from you like that, no problem. Right? She could get with another man. She could dump you the next day and get with the other person. So in order to combat that, you gotta dump her before she dump you. I mean, it's kind of harsh to say that, right? That's how I see it. You might have a different perspective, but for me, you gotta understand, pick up this nuance, understand how she is very fast, right? Very fast, because you don't want to get your heart down, get your guard down, and realize she's a different woman, right? That she's a different woman and she's misleading you, she treats you like dirt, yelling at you, right? Because guys nobody deserves to get yelled at, right? Guys or women, right? But there's a lot of guys who get yelled at, mistreated by their girls, right? And they're just afraid to talk back to a woman, right? If you're afraid to talk back to a woman, just cut it off. Cold turkey. This is why guys are waking up right now. Guys are ghosting women left to right. Right? Don't be afraid to ghost them, man. Don't be afraid. You don't owe them any explanations. Right? You don't owe them any reasoning at all. You're not attached to them. You're not their husbands. Right? You're not bounded by a contract. But when you're in a contract, that's when you're out of the lead. That's when you're in a disadvantage. So if you actually propose to a woman, I don't suggest for you to initiate any kind of divorce because that's only setting yourself up for failure. I'm talking about prior to marriage, right? You're still dabbing the water. You're still testing out the waters. That's what it is. Because you're still testing the waters, don't be too attached to them, right? And guys are too attached. That's what I'm saying. They're too attached. They're too clinging. And what does that lead to? That leads to obsessions. You do not want to be obsessed to a person. Obsession will lead to your destruction, your demise. What happened if that relationship doesn't work out? Now your obsession will become your destructions. Now it's hard for you to get over a woman. And that's because you let your feelings go. You fall into your feelings. You catch feelings. That's what it is. That's what it means when you catch feelings. That's why I'm telling you guys, do not catch feelings. Right? Don't fall in love with a girl that don't mess with a girl that she doesn't love you more than you love her. Right? Don't be so opening to her. Don't be so emotionally attached to her. Because if she's more loving to you, she's more loyal to you. That's what it is. Marry the woman who's in love with you, then you are in love with her. Right? But of this video is that if she doesn't serve you as well, don't be afraid to cut her off. Make it quick and simple, right? It's not gonna hurt you, right? Why you want to be with a person that don't like you anyway? You shouldn't be with a person that don't like you. And I've seen a lot of guys who's in an abusive relationship. Now, people don't like to say this, right? People don't like to confront this idea, but there are men who are in an abusive relationship than there is women in an abusive relationship, right? People just to focus on the women on the abusive relationship more. But when you see all these domestic disputes, usually it caused by the women, by them initiating the fight first, by putting a hand on the woman. I'm not endorsing any violence against nobody, right? But but usually the women who instigate all this stuff, women who are the one who's instigate this stuff first, right? Don't lay a hand on a woman, all right, guys. Do not lay a hand on them. Just be quiet and don't instigate anymore, and just don't interact, right? When you're in this domestic dispute, but if you understand that your relationship going downhill anyway, just cut it off. Don't be afraid. Don't let your emotions so easily. Don't be so emotionally attached to these women, because women come and goes, right? How do you know this woman is the perfect one for you? You don't know that. There's no such thing of a perfect person. There's only people that you're willing to put up with. I keep saying that multiple times, right? Are you willing to put up with this woman, no matter how much she beat you or destroy you or berate you, right? That's up for you to decide. But if you don't want to deal with that, cut it off, man. There's no use. There's no rehabilitations. You can't save a fractured mind. This woman is crazy. But on that note, guys, do you agree that if you're in a bad relationship, you think the best way is just to cut them off immediately? Let me know you agree or disagree. On that note, guys, thank you for watching this video. As always, like, share, subscribe, and peace and blessings.